Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a little different because the title already says quite a lot, but I have hypothyroidism, and I kind of just wanted to make a video, I don't know, kind of just talk about what I've gone through, what I'm going through, see if anybody else out there has been diagnosed with it as well and is struggling, and I don't know. I just wanted to make a video and make people more aware because there's not much about it out there, which is a struggle. So I wanted to put my story out there and what's happening to me and keep you guys updated because unfortunately I've been struggling. It's not been plain sailing for me. So I wanted to talk about that, kind of document it, so just see how it goes. Yeah. I wrote a list because I've got quite a lot to talk about. I guess I'll just start from the beginning, which was actually probably back in 2017/2018. That was my last year of college, which was actually quite a bit of a struggle for me because of I'm assuming that's when it really started for me. I was feeling very tired. I was exhausted. I would get muscle aches, and it would ache a lot. I would struggle to get out of bed. I was depressed. I had lots of anxiety. It was that bad that I was sleeping 12 hours a day, and I was napping in the middle of the day. I was skipping college. My teacher didn't care, which didn't help. So I was skipping a lot of college. I was just doing it at home. I still passed, thankfully, but that's beside the point. My teacher didn't really give a damn if I was in or not. But as I said, I was sleeping for 12 hours every night, and I was sleeping in the middle of the day, and I had no motivation to do anything. It was a struggle to do anything. I was quite depressed, which I didn't really admit until the doctors told me. And so I finished my year of college. I then studied from home to become a qualified nail tech. That took me quite some time to do because I was struggling so much with it and just struggling to get the energy to do anything, and it really got to a point where I was like, okay, something isn't right here. I want to be able to do things. I want to be able to not sleep 12 hours every day. This isn't right. Something is wrong with me. So in February 2019, I went to the doctors finally. Of course, I told my mum how I was feeling, and I was like, I've had enough. There's something wrong, and I need to know what. So my mum came with me to the doctors. I told the doctor every single thing of how I was feeling, and she asked me tons of questions. I was brutally honest. You have to be. There's no point going if you're not going to be honest. And she was like, right, okay, we'll send you for blood tests. So they took quite a lot of blood, I think. I don't look when I get my blood tests done because I can't, but Mum said they took quite a lot of blood. And then I waited a week. I came back and they diagnosed me with vitamin B12 deficiency, folic acid deficiency, and a possible thyroid problem. So first they wanted to deal with the vitamin B12 deficiency and the folic acid deficiency first, just to see if that would help my thyroid. So I had to get 6 B12 injections over the course of a week and a half, and then so that was a pretty rough couple of weeks. I was very up and down with that, unfortunately, but that was probably my body taking up all the B12 and then just using it. So it got better in the second half of the week-ish, but I was still feeling pretty rough. And then they put me on folic acid medication for 3 months. So I had to stay on that for 3 months and boost up those levels. So then, of course, I went back in 3 months for another blood test and another doctor's appointment. They said my B12 and folic acid levels were good. They were at a good point, but they still needed to keep an eye on me just in case they dropped again, because if you tend to have a vitamin B12 deficiency, that's you need to have boosts every now and then. So they need to keep an eye on that to see how often I would need a B12 injection. And then that's when they diagnosed me with hypothyroidism, because my thyroid still wasn't doing good, which is an underactive thyroid. So my thyroid just was struggling to produce what it needed to produce. So they diagnosed me with that. So that's when they started me on my medication of levothyroxine. They started me on 50 micrograms, which was for 3 months. And unfortunately, that made me very, very sick. It made me lose a lot of weight, because it would make me incredibly nauseous. It put me off food. I was struggling to eat food because I was throwing up. I was actually throwing up if I ate too much food, depending on like how often I ate close to my medication. So that was a real struggle. I lost a bit of weight. I had quite a bit of chest pains, unfortunately, when I was on the 50 micrograms. So much so that it got to a point where I had to get, my mom and dad and my boyfriend took me to hospital. I woke up, well, the chest pains woke me up, and it was like a like tight, pounding, heavy weight in my chest, and it felt absolutely horrible. I felt like I was going to throw up. I was almost throwing up. I was in and out of the bathroom. My hands began to go tingly, like pins and needles. My feet were like going a slightly blue color. I was shaking. I was feeling lightheaded. It was absolutely horrible. So they took me to hospital. And obviously when you tell them you've got chest pains or whatever, they kind of put you at the top of the list and you get taken through. So I went through, told the nurse that was there what was happening. She took my pulse, and my heart rate was 144. So yeah, it wasn't a fun day. So they took me through into another room, put me on the bed. The nurses put the thing in my arm. I don't know, it was like a big chunky thing. And they took 3 vials of blood. Again, I didn't look, but Mum was there with me. And then I had to wait for those tests. And then they also did 2 separate heart scans. One was just focusing on my heart, and then one was all over my body. So they did that. They came back fine, which is good. They needed to check that my heart wasn't damaged because of my heart rate and chest pains. They also took me through for an x-ray. So I had to get an x-ray done. My chest was fine. They gave me a drip with pain meds in, and then they gave me another drip for because they said I was probably dehydrated. And then thankfully I didn't stay the night or anything. They let me go. We were there for like 10 hours, something like that. But that was pretty scary. I still get chest pains, unfortunately. Well, I still had the chest pains while I was on the 50, and the nausea got so bad that I actually called the doctors up again. I was like, right, okay, I cannot take this anymore. So they gave me, I can't remember the name of the pills, but you have to put them like up here on your gums, and then they dissolve over an hour, I believe. So I had to take that. I had to do that like twice a day for 3 days. And then that actually did help quite a lot. I was able to eat a little better, but then it kind of went downhill again. So I went in early for my doctor's appointment, and I explained everything. I was like, I cannot deal with the 50. I was telling this to the nurse and the doctor. I was like, I can't take the 50. And she was like, yep, yeah, your levels are incredibly high now. Or like the complete opposite, because the higher the number, the less you're producing, and it's alternate. So I'll just say that my levels were really, really bad, in the sense that there was too much levothyroxine in my system now. So after that, she lowered my dose to 25 micrograms, and then she lowered my appointments to every 2 months instead of 3 months, just to keep an eye on me. So 2 months on 25 micrograms, I was Still feeling quite sick for about 2 weeks. It was still, but it went down again. Like the nausea, it stopped after a while, which was very good, and I was able to eat again, which I was very happy about. Because I hated not being able to eat and throwing up. I'm sure everybody would, but I was able to eat again. I wasn't nauseous anymore. It was good. I was feeling much better than I was prior to everything, which was also good, but I still wasn't quite there because obviously the medication takes about 4 to 6 weeks to actually kick into your system. But the nausea was definitely gone, so I was very glad about that. So I then came back for my doctor's appointment in 2 months' time, well, my blood test and my doctor's appointment, and she was like, "Are you still taking the 50?" I was like, "No." She was like, "Are you sure you're not taking the 50?" I was like, "No." And then I explained how all the nausea's gone and I'm able to eat again. She was like, "Right, okay, well, are you absolutely sure? Because your levels are even worse than when you were on the 50. And I was like, "No, I'm definitely taking the 25 that you prescribed to me." So she was really worried. So unfortunately, they had to then take me off my medication for 2 months to get it out of my system, because obviously way too much levothyroxine is dangerous. But I was very surprised. Obviously the 25 was lowered, but obviously the 50 stayed around in my system for way too long or something like that. So that's kind of worried my doctor and worried me. So she took me off my meds to get it completely out of my system, which was a struggle because unfortunately by the end of the first month, middle of second month, I was starting to struggle again. I was sleeping more, I was just struggling with concentration and everything. So I felt myself go downhill. So it must have been January of this year, because it was actually over Christmas and New Year where I didn't have meds. I went back in January for my doctor's appointment about the 15th. And then that's when she was like, "Yep, your levels have gone completely down again. You need to get put back on your medication." So, but this time she put me on 25 micrograms every other day. So I'm currently still working through that. I just had my blood test on the 11th of March. My doctor's appointment is on the 18th of March. I'm not sure when I'll post this, but that's just so you're aware. So I have less than a week to know what my blood tests are doing, but I don't know, with the way my body has been telling me, and I've just been feeling, I have a suspicion that it's not going to be good results. But she says if my levels aren't normal this time, then there's nothing more that she can do, and then I have to be referred. So I'm a little nervous, I guess you could say, but yeah. So depending on these results, which I don't think they're gonna be really good, to be honest, I'm probably gonna have to be referred. So I don't know if I'll be able to get an appointment really quick, or if I'm gonna get put on a waiting list or what, but I'm gonna have to go under more tests. Who knows what they're gonna be, and then see what else is happening with me. But yeah, so that has been my journey with hypothyroidism and vitamin B12 deficiency, folic acid deficiency so far. My journey is still not finished, but I don't know, I just wanted to make a video. Somebody else out there might be struggling with this, because I've tried looking for stuff and there's like barely anything out there. Not many people have this at all. So yeah, I just wanted to make this, maybe help someone. I don't really know how this is helpful, or just so they know that you're not the only one out there struggling, because it's been a journey. But next week I will find out what's gonna happen next. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask and I'll answer them. If you're also struggling with hypothyroidism and you have questions as well, or just wanted to watch, that's fine too. So that's it for this video. Yeah, I'll update you as soon as I can. As soon as I know more, as soon as I know what's gonna happen. Yeah. So I'll see you guys in the next one.